And now, without further ado, the Shenandoah Valley Academy Touring Choir and String Ensemble.
Thank you so much for having us. This is very special for me as I taught at Hinsdale Academy for 3 years and did some performances here with those groups when I was here. So this is a homecoming, and this is also our first music tour in 3 years. So we're really honored that you are one of our first stops here. Thank you for having us. We'll start with our strings. We're going to start with a beautiful Irish folk tune that you may know as Be Thou My Vision. One of the most healing instruments is the harp, right? There's just something about the harp, we hear it, and we just instantly exhale. So we're going to feature our freshman harpist, Samantha Trigo, and this is Prelude on an Early American Folk Hymn, also known as My Shepherd Will Supply My Need. going to switch it up a little bit and give you a burst of energy. This is the Prelude from the Holberg Suite. We're going to have our classical players, which is our smaller chamber group, and then you'll hear from our choir. So this is a piece that was written by an English composer in the early 1900s, and it's sort of a Renaissance style with a modern twist. It's just a unique piece that we think you'll like, so enjoy. I'll transition over to our choir led by Daniel Biaggi.
Hello, it's a privilege to be here sharing the music with you. Now we will hear some of the choir. And this is the select choir, the Shenandoahs. We have two choirs in the school. One is big, most of the students, and then the small one that is touring with us. And we will share some different songs. Some are hymns, some are spirituals, and some old songs. The first one that we are going to share with you is called All That I Need.
All that
song that is called "The King is Coming," and it's talking both about Jesus coming to be born here in the past 2,000 years ago, but also that we expect him to come back and take us home. So it's a song of hope, and we want to share that with you. It doesn't work that much? Oh, what?
I can do a fifth level.
Okay. Does the B flat? When is my King coming? King is coming?
When is my king a-coming?
The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon.
Lord, I'm tired and heavy is my burden.
The king is coming, my king is coming soon.
I'm down in the valley staring at the mountain.
The king is coming, my king is coming soon.
You split the mighty waters of the Red Sea.
The king is coming, my king is coming soon.
Lord, will you split the rising waters all around me?
The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. But he showed up for Moses and he showed up for Daniel and he showed up for David when he fought Goliath. He showed on up, he showed on up, he showed on up, showed up, yes he showed up.
The world is weary and heavy with its hunger. We wait on your promise no matter how much longer. The child will be coming, the prophets all have spoken. Freeing the captives and healing all that's broken.
The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming soon. The king is coming soon. And he showed up for Moses and he showed up for Daniel and he showed up for David when he fought Goliath. But he showed on up, showed on up, he showed on up, showed up, yes he showed up.
When will my king come?
See justice roll like thunder. When he comes, see justice roll like thunder. Mercy and peace and compassion roll like thunder.
When my king?
Justice roll like thunder. When he comes, see justice roll like thunder. When is my king? When are you coming, Lord?
My king is coming.
The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. The king is coming, my king is coming soon. My king is coming, coming.
Yes, Jesus coming, coming. Yes, Jesus coming, coming. Yes, Jesus coming, coming. Yes, Jesus coming,
My king is coming.
Thank you so much for being here, for your performance, for your blessings. Thank you. It was awesome, right? Let's give him another round of applause. Okay. Please come again. Have a good day, everyone.
One of Jesus' most memorable miracles was feeding thousands of people in need of food. A church in Kansas City in the middle of the United States has been following Jesus' example of feeding the multitudes.
So far this year, we've served about 13,500 families. That equates to about 53,000 people when you add up the people in those families.
The New Haven Church opens its parking lot every Tuesday for food distribution. Cars line the street and wrap around the church to wait for the volunteers to fill the back of the cars with groceries and even baby supplies. All this is accomplished in partnership with other organizations in the community. They work together to help families in need.
You know, from 10 to 11 for 1 hour we serve. And we did probably about 300 families today and probably about 1,200 to 1,500 clients that we served. I'd say we probably do anywhere from $80 to a little over $100 worth of groceries when they come through and we put it in the back of their trunks.
Today is not just any other distribution day. The church is celebrating their 1 millionth pound of food donated for the year. Pastor Mark is thanking the team by grilling vegetarian burgers for them to enjoy.
At the end of June, we hit 1 million pounds of food that we served. Here in 2021, we're definitely on pace to do over 2 million pounds. So we just took a little time to celebrate that. We were thanking the volunteers that were there with some vegetarian burgers with caramelized barbecue on it. And so yeah, it was a good celebration just to thank the volunteers for all their work. We couldn't have done it without them.
It's not only about the amount of food served, but more importantly, the lives they are able to impact.
Another family said they were asking for prayer because they were going to be evicted from their home in a couple of weeks. It reminded me that we're serving people that are really on the edge of homelessness.
This food pantry in Kansas City has grown to serve many families each week, and they say their growth strategy is simple.
The more we pray, the more people God brings here. And so I would say if you want to start a pantry like this, start praying for every single person that comes through there. And as you pray for those people, God will send you more. He knows needs prayer, and it will grow and grow and grow. Because that is what has happened to us.
From humble beginnings, this church has fed hundreds of thousands of people over the last few years. Please pray for the team in Kansas City, as well as others around the world who are continually seeking ways to serve their communities with love.
One of the challenges in navigating the land between, desert space, wilderness space, it's just the emotional upheaval. Whether it's the house that refuses to sell or the spouse that refuses to join you in seeing a counselor. It's not just something going on out there. It's something that happens in here. You see, you would think that nothing much would grow in the desert, but the land between, it is fertile ground. It's fertile ground for emotional meltdown. And the emotional meltdown is exactly what we see in an episode early in our Bible. The group called the Israelites. They've left slavery in Egypt. They're on the way to the land of promise, but they are in the desert. They are in the wilderness. They are in the land between, and they are not at their best. In fact, they're complaining about this food substance called manna that they've had to eat so far for 2 years, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and their complaint is reaching riotous proportions. And their poor leader, Moses, he's like had it. He is exhausted. He is spent. And we read part of his prayer, and it's like meltdown proportions. Listen to this raw and real prayer from God's exhausted leader. He said to the Lord, "Why have you brought this trouble on your servant? What have I done to displease you that you would put the burden of all these people on me? I cannot carry these people by myself. The burden is too heavy for me." Listen to his voice. "I can't carry this anymore. It's too heavy." Man, whose voice do you hear there other than the voice of Moses? I hear the voice of an exhausted caregiver. It's too heavy. I can't carry this anymore. I hear the voice of someone who is just broken over a family situation with a spouse or a child or a parent. This is too heavy. I can't carry it anymore. I hear the voice of someone dealing with their 4th or 5th year of infertility. Jeff, how long will I have to go to the baby showers of sisters and cousins and act happy and joyful for them as I'm waiting to hold our child? And after a while, it feels like something breaks. Just go, "This is too heavy. I can't carry this anymore." What I love about this raw and real prayer is that Moses does not dismiss or diminish the ugliness and the weariness of his situation, but what he does do is he invites God into the mess. He carries this mess, and it's like he dumps it before his Lord. Jesus travels teaching and healing for about 3 years, and he's surrounded by a group of disciples. One of his disciples is a man by the name of Peter. And after the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus, Peter would write these words to young believers. He would challenge them, "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. He sees, he hears, and he cares. He cares about your exhausting days and your sleepless nights. He sees, he hears, he cares." Like Moses came with this raw and real prayer to his Lord, I just want to challenge you today to invite God into the mess. Don't diminish or dismiss what is going on. It may be truly awful and ugly, but invite God into the mess. He sees, he hears, he cares.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void. Darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the deep. Then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And God called the dry land earth, and the waters he called seas. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit, according to its kind, whose seed is in itself." God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, and for days and years." Then God said, "Let the waters abound with an abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth, across the face of the firmament of the heavens." God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature, according to its kind, cattle, creeping things, and beasts of the earth, each according to its kind." Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle over all the earth." God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. So the evening and the morning were the sixth day. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth its fruit in its season, whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. For as the heavens are high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward those who fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, even though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. Have you not known? Have you not heard the everlasting God, the Lord, the Creator of the ends of the earth? Neither faints nor is weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, he increases strength. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He's my refuge and my fortress.